Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Cape Complainers. Joining me, as always, are the Complainers. To this episode, we have Tim, I almost said Devin, Reed, and Flippo. Devin is not here right now, and I'm a little upset about Devin really quick. And that's going to bring us into Devin's thoughts. My thought is, Devin asked us in the chat to buy a box of Fruit Loops for a blind taste test thing that I'm sure in his head was a great idea.
Time out. When did he ask this?
He asked us this
A couple
days ago.
Oh, that's why I ignore our message.
And here's my thought. I knew for a fact I was going to be the only one who bought a box of this shit.
Why the hell would I buy a box of Fruit Loops?
Because he asked us to, and I like to
Why would
humor.
I buy a box of sugar? I could just go buy a pound of sugar and have the same exact effect.
Anyways, so to spite Devin as being the only one who bought this fucking box of Fruit Loops, we're gonna do his little blind test thing.
With him here.
Yeah. Now, those of you listening to this probably won't enjoy most of what's about to happen for the next couple of minutes, but guess what? You can watch us on Twitch. So if you're there, if you really wanted to see this stupid little segment that Devin came up with, pop over there and say hello. So I'm going to put on my blindfold really quick. My blindfold is pink and weighted, just like me.
Why are we doing this, by the way? Just wondering.
It's what he wanted to do. So I'm going to reach inside this box of Fruit Loops, which we are not sponsored by. I'm going to show you a color. I suppose I taste it and try to guess what color it is. So let's see. Let's do this one. I'm going to show it to the camera.
Okay.
Y'all don't tell me what it is, but y'all know what it is.
Okay. So you don't want to know what's purple?
All right. I'm going to assume it's not, and you're just being funny. All right.
Yeah,
So I'm going...
Smell it. What do you think it is? Yeah, smell it first.
Probably yellow. All
right, taste it.
So I'm going to taste it. Probably didn't hear that.
Nope. No.
Okay.
Is it a soggy one? Does it still taste like yellow?
No, it just tastes like dry-ass cereal.
While he's tasting it, does his blindfold not look like just a giant piece of ass? Like the dumpiest cake you see in this side of the Mississippi? Yeah. Mississippi dump cake. You got it.
All right, I'm going to say it was red.
It was purple.
Was it really? Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Okay. We're gonna do two more times. Two more times, and then this bit is done. I'm gonna show it to the camera. Memorize it. Memorize it.
Yeah, we got it.
I'm going to eat
Ace
it.
Spades. You didn't smell it.
Well, I mean, the smell has nothing to do with it. I'm gonna say green.
Apparently, the taste has nothing to do with it either.
It doesn't have any. See,
Tasteless son of a bee.
Well, this
what
is
do you got? COVID.
This
it
is
was obviously blue.
Well, this is the point. This is Devin's thought, and this is probably his dumbest thought yet. Like, how are we supposed to know this?
You just ate a blue.
It was blue. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You blew yourself.
Last chance. Last chance. Double or nothing. All right. I'm showing it to the camera. Showing it to the camera. Memorize it. Burn it in your brains.
Yeah, we got it.
I'm getting notes of dried cereal.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You got a great palate there. Good nose palate. Yeah.
I'm chewing.
Does it taste fruity?
Artificial fruity.
What fruits are you picking out? Yeah.
I'm gonna say orange.
It was green.
Son of a bitch. Well, good job,
But you
Devin.
did a great job. A fantastic job.
Good
Everybody
job,
give him a
Devin.
round of applause. Really
Thank
fast.
you.
A quick
Thank you
round
so
of
much.
applause.
Thank you.
So yeah, I looked it up.
Thank
yeah,
you.
Fruit Loops, are all the same thing. But I looked at Fruity Pebbles,
Okay.
and they're all different
Okay. That's enough.
flavors.
Was that supposed to be
It's like,
clapping?
yeah, it's golf clapping.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
So, yeah, I mainly wanted to do that just because I was upset because I knew for a fact I was going to be the only one who bought this box of cereal. But Flippo brought up an interesting point. What is y'all's go-to cereal? Like, what's the goat of cereal for y'all?
What do you think I am, a child?
You
I've
still
been
eat
eating cereal since I was like 12 years old. Grow up.
You still have a
I-
favorite
You know,
cereal.
You know they make protein cereal, right?
Yeah, but that stuff's so expensive. Have you seen how expensive that is?
Yes.
There's no way. It's like $20 a box or something. I did think about buying it, and then I was like, not worth it.
So I would go for Honey Bunches of Oats. One
Okay.
reason is because whatever you fill up, and then you pour the milk in, you get that amount of cereal that you put in there. You can't. It doesn't float up. You got to be like, oh, I'm out of milk or I'm out of cereal between the two.
It evenly,
nice call.
yeah, it evenly
you get the one
distributes.
with almonds?
Yeah, and it has almonds. I like almonds, and it's
Yeah.
good.
That sounds good. Back
It
when
is.
I did eat cereal, though, it was Reese's Peanut Butter Puffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yum.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I got to mention the little granola bunches and Honey Bunches of Oats.
Ooh.
Always the
Yeah.
best part. They're always at the bottom. That's when you scoop it off.
I know that's often the best part of the cereal too. Is whenever you're like right at the end of it, you're like, oh,
Whatever sinks at the
yeah,
bottom.
let me get all that good bit.
And that one doesn't get as soggy as some of the other ones do.
No, yeah. You got to.
Well, because it's so
eat
good
it.
that you eat it fast enough.
Exactly.
just-
You got to eat it in a good amount of time.
I just spilled cereal
Yeah.
on my floor. Hang on.
How's that any different than your normal day-to-day life, Greg?
Every time I walk around, it's just crunching noises. Just.
It was like I stepped on a red. Ah.
Yeah, it's a blue.
Wrong, it was yellow.
Well, for me, I think my go-to cereal. There's two. I really like Fruity Pebbles. They're kind of. A lot of people don't like that. Like they're the easiest to get super soggy, and a lot of people don't like that.
Yeah.
But like those first couple, if you eat it fast enough, you still enjoy the crunch of the whole thing. Yes, Tim.
Okay, so I'm not a fan of Fruity Pebbles as a cereal because yes, they get soggy too quickly, but I've been using this protein powder, which is Fruity Pebble flavored, and it has been fantastic.
Has
Heavens.
anyone
So
done-
it's like it tastes like the milk after you're done with Fruity Pebbles. You guys know the milk flavor?
Yeah.
So good.
Good
I
stuff.
was about to say, has anyone done Fruity Pebbles with like strawberry milk? Made it
Ew.
extra fruity.
No.
I have done Fruity Pebbles and orange juice whenever I was absolutely desperate. And I didn't finish the bowl. I only got like
How long
one.
ago was that?
This was like back in like junior high. Like I was getting ready for school and there was no milk in the fridge, but I did have orange juice. And
Might as well just use fucking water.
fun fact about Fruit Loops, I've tried it with pink lemonade because we didn't have any milk.
Was it good?
My family didn't believe in milk, and no, it's not good. It's just
Oh.
it's disgusting.
When I was in daycare, I had a best friend who was allergic to milk. So he would trade me all of his milk, and I would trade him all of my orange juice. And he would use the orange juice for cereal, and he said it was really good. But I tried it once, and I was like,
This was
it's not the same.
Yeah, see
This
that's
isn't
what my
daycare,
mom
yeah.
said. My mom said like we didn't have milk, of course, and like it was just like, hey, I want some cereal. She was like, oh, just put some orange juice on it. It's gonna be fine. It's
Use
awful.
water.
Yeah, it's disgusting. I'm just like, do you just hate your children? Like Jesus, just get us some damn milk, mother.
well, on her hate list. Number 1 is milk. Number 2 is her children.
Yeah. it's all
Well,
it's
it depends on the day. If Greg calls her, then the children go first,
Yeah.
and then milk.
it's actually the same point. It's just like children / milk. Like she categorizes it as one thing.
She used to use her children as milk, and then it became illegal.
Ooh.
Yeah, excuse me.
You want to rethink
Alright.
that thought?
Flippo, your turn. Flippo.
Uh, my guilty pleasure is Captain Crunch.
Hmm.
Oh,
I was
that's always
I was telling Flippo at the start of the show that I don't mess with a cereal that hurts me. Like if it cuts your mouth, it
Yeah, I
doesn't.
don't want to. I don't want to
Hey,
fight
that's
that
part of
cereal
the
in
that's part of the
morning.
thrill,
Cinnamon-
man.
Dude, Cinnamon Toast Crunch could murder you.
Cinnamon
I've
Toast
never
Crunch.
been murdered by Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah, Cinnamon Toast Crunch has treated me
I
nothing
have
but
had a
nicely.
raw ass like upper palate due to Captain Crunch. Yeah, I will admit that.
Yeah, eating flavored drywall.
Yeah,
What flavored drywall? You're crazy.
I understand what Vikings went through in battle while eating Captain Crunch. Like
You're literally dying of dysentery as
Yeah.
you're eating Captain Crunch.
yeah, like I have Vietnam flashbacks every time those little pellets hit the bowl, and I'm just like, oh, it's
It's like napalm.
I know. Sounds like gunshots, and I'm just like, oh, ah! But yeah, oh yeah, my second one was Cinnamon Toast Crunch. All right,
Ultimate sound plays in your head as you bring the spoon to your mouth.
well that will conclude Devin's thought, which was probably his worst one so far. I'm not gonna
I don't
finish.
know. He's had some bad ones, man.
This was bad just because it only affected me apparently. So that's what I didn't enjoy about the whole thing. So let's go ahead and get into our topic. Today's episode, we're talking about Shōgun, the new FX show. It's available on Hulu. It is a show set in feudal Japan, and it's really interesting. It took me a while to get into it, and just to start off, I want to agree with Devin. He sent us his thoughts. Since he's not here. He was talking about he finds it hard to focus due to the subtitles. I appreciate them not doing it in English, but I agree. Like sometimes I like to have a show on while I'm working, and I couldn't do this with this. Even if you did like the audio thing, I didn't like it either.
The
Can I
dub.
cut in really fast?
Yeah.
In that same vein, I think that you and Devin should give it like a kudos. Because technically, when they're speaking English, they're speaking Portuguese. So they're already saving
True.
you guys like half the show of subtitles.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't even say half. The whole like whenever the whole show was in Japanese, and like I was reading the whole thing in like the first episode, and I'm like, oh, okay, so this is gonna be the whole thing. And then finally, whenever they introduced these trader pirates or whatever the hell they are, like started speaking English, I was like, what? There's English in this show? And I got excited, but definitely it's
are you
more
crazy?
Japanese.
The first scene is the English.
No, it isn't.
Yeah,
Greg's
really?
like, I read subtitles up until the last minute, and they're just speaking English the entire time.
yeah, it's Blackthorn talking to the captain of the ship,
And then
being
the
like, "Hey,
captain
we're out
blows
of
his brains
food.
out."
We don't know
Yeah.
where we're at. We're
Yeah.
not gonna survive this.
Then
We gotta
ex-
do
Get it
something."
together, Greg.
Then excuse me. Sorry.
Oh,
The
okay,
point
yeah,
is
it's okay.
the point is that I'm saying is it's more subtitles than anything else, which is fine because I find that one of the most charming bits of the show is that it's in the native language of where it takes place, which is cool. It's just not a show that I can watch while doing something else because like I'll miss something because I didn't read the last sentence. And I feel like speaking of missing things, a lot of stuff that Devin was saying that he doesn't understand that happened because he probably missed the sentence that explained it. So I don't know. But what are y'all's thoughts of the show so far? Like, it's not over yet, and from what I've read, this is going to be a 1-season show. There's not going to be a season 2 as of now. But
Okay.
yeah. So what do y'all think?
I really like it. I do sort of agree with the saying that's been said about the show. It's the next Game of Thrones.
Right.
It's got that political tension and fight and reasoning and stuff like that behind it for everything. But also there's somebody that gives you to root for, and then somebody that the opposing side of all that. And like the different factions and stuff like that, sort
Right.
of in the same way as Game of Thrones. So it's
Right.
interesting. There's just good entertainment and good different storylines and everything connecting. Pretty good so far. But it's only one season right now. But I was surprised to hear that it's only one season after all the glory it's been getting.
Yeah, like as of now, I'm trying to
continue.
find the article. Oh, here it is. The show creator said we love how the book ends, which apparently it's based off of a book. It was one of the reasons why we both knew what we wanted to do with it, and we ended in that exact place. So Shōgun season 2 is very unlikely because they followed it to the T to the book, and so I'm at like I highly doubt a season 2 will happen.
If it's based on a book, okay.
Yeah, so. But it's a very well written show. I enjoy like you said earlier, the conflicts that are in the show. I think what really sucked me into the show was whenever what's the main English guy's name?
John Blackthorne.
Yeah, Blackthorne. Whenever Blackthorne is being escorted to his little first place to stand Christian trial or whatever. That this Japanese Christian dude comes up and like tries to like pray with him, and then just like pops off his head with a samurai sword. I was just like, holy shit! It like surprised me. I was like, oh my god! Like, okay, let's do this. And I was hoping
that came out of nowhere. I feel like
it surprised me. I was like, damn! And like they genuinely don't like Christians there, and so but I don't know. It's a very well written show. It's got tremendous pacing. And I didn't finish it. I'm not like 100% caught up because per usual, the best shows are often an hour long, and who has time for that nowadays? And so yeah.
So I'm only on episode 4. I'm like halfway through it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy. It sucks that it's only going to get one season because, and I get it. I guess I understand because of the novel. It's based off of the book, but the book, and I was looking it up because I was like, oh man, this is so crazy. Like if this was real life, how freaking insane.
Yeah.
Like if this happened in history. And it's actually based off of an actual Japanese shogun around the same time period. And that is what started after the events that have happened so far. The guy dies at some point, and then his successor finishes the war for him, and his clan like wins or whatever, and they become the shogunate. And a lot of anime, you guys remember Demon Slayer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Demon Slayer takes place in the Edo period, which is literally the same period as right after the events of the warring clans. So after Shogun and after the whole war thing, then it would be the time that you would see like the Demon Slayer people.
Do I smell a crossover episode?
Oh, dude, I wish. Tanjiro just shows up in an episode. He's like 1 year old.
It's a prequel series to Demon Hunter. But I really do enjoy the show, and to kind of go back to my original point before Tim's, I wish shows weren't an hour long. It's something I've brought up on several of these episodes that I feel like you could get the point across in 30 minutes, because the show, as great as it is, and even Game of Thrones had it, there's so much filler. It's like, okay, great, we don't need this. Just tell us the point and move on. We don't need all of this. What? Well, yeah, Tim.
Okay. Well, you implied that I interrupted your thought, but you were the one who said that we were going to go through all of our thoughts.
Did I say?
I was adding my thoughts.
Did I say interrupt? Did I say interrupted?
You implied it.
I didn't.
It was implicated.
I didn't say it. Sorry, I was just saying.
You're like, let me go back to the point before Tim and all this. I was like, oh,
yeah, but I didn't say you interrupted. Don't give sass whenever sass is not needed.
You know what? I'm leaving camera. You guys.
I'm putting the cap on. Y'all can talk if y'all want. I'm not going to be here.
I'm out of here.
But the show, I feel like a lot of shows have like a lot of filler. Now, I'm not saying the filler in these episodes are bad, but you could easily trim most of these episodes down, as well as any TV show, really. But does it kill the show for me? No, it does not. Everything in it is great. I just wish like the shows just learned that it didn't need to be an hour long. Like the first episode is like an hour and like 15 minutes,
15,
I think.
somewhere
Yeah,
there,
an
yeah.
hour and 15. I'm like, damn, I have stuff to do today. Like I can't watch 8 episodes, like 8 movie length episodes. I'm like, I can't do this. But it is a tremendous show. And really, that's the only bad thing I have to say about it is I wish it cut down on some filler. But other than that, the show is really great. It's very well acted. I'm not even going to butcher any names by trying to say them.
Oh, come on.
Hold on, let me pull them up. Somebody do some thoughts while I pull up the IMDb.
I mean,
poster.
I'm seeing some similarities. You know, the two actors, Anna Sawa, who plays Mariko,
Mm-hmm.
and where is him? Takiro Hira, who plays you know, the one that's head of the council, Kazunari. Those two are both in Monarch that we watched.
Yeah.
And the opening to Shogun sort of has that same musical opening as Monarch did. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to look up if it's sort of like the same director or if there's some sort of
I'm sure there's
similarity
no
there.
real like connection. I mean, they both take place in Japan mostly.
Well, no, not between storylines, but people like producing, directing,
Oh, yeah.
whatever.
Like somebody
Because
from the
there's some similar.
crew. Yeah, somebody from the crew must have been a part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, but between both of them, yeah. And so I was just seeing some similarities and I was trying to look at, you know, who's the connection because there's something there.
Yeah.
But
I
apparently
thought
they're doing some good things. I enjoyed Monarch, and here's
Yeah.
Shogun now.
I thought the same thing whenever I was watching it. That character that shows up, Anna Siwa or Say Siwi. See, this is why I didn't want to like pronounce their names because like we're probably way off saying
Just
what these
confidently, you know.
Anna
Yeah.
Siwa. And so
And
I think whenever I first saw her, I was just like, "Oh wow, she's in Monarch. Oh, that's a great show." And everybody in it is phenomenal. I freaking adore Hiroki Sanada. Like this dude is awesome. He's in the John Wick movies. I think he would be awesome. There's like a campaign going on to have him play that Jedi from the what's the Star Wars anime show? Star Wars Legends? What's it called? We reviewed it. Visions. Visions. That's what it is. Star Wars
with
Visions.
all the separate little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all were no help there for a minute. Y'all just let me struggle with that
We
name.
believed in you.
But there's a campaign going to have him play the Ronin from that first episode of Visions, and I think
Oh.
that would be awesome if that
Yeah.
did happen. Obviously, Star Wars and Disney will probably never let that happen, but still, like I think that's perfect. It's a very well acted show, and
I would agree up until we get to the white dude, John Blackthorne.
yeah.
His entire character is scream with this really weird voice thing that he does.
Cosmo Jarvis is his name. I know how
Yeah,
to.
he was in Peaky Blinders. I looked up. Yeah.
He has such a like the whole first episode. That's all he did. The whole second episode. That's all he did. Or he'll like stare with his eyes as white as he can make it. And those are his those are his two emotions.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like he is like pleading for his life. They
That's true.
they could easily kill him at any moment, so he has no choice but to go. I am not a Christian. I'm not Catholic like these bastards.
There's no God of mine.
Yeah,
I can't trust this man to translate for me because he's a Christian.
yeah. Catholicism blows. So, like, I mean,
They touched their altar boy.
easy. And
Yeah. Whoa.
whoa, whoa! You took it to a very dark place there, Tim. You know what? Put your camera cap on. I think
You know what?
I
will.
think you need to go to timeout.
I
But-
refuse to be talked to like this.
I'm sorry. I thought this was America. We could say whatever we want.
Yeah, freedom of speech.
Yeah.
If
But-
you don't want people calling you out for bad things you did, then don't do bad things.
Yeah, it's a very fun show. It's a lot of politics are in it, and to go back to an earlier point, if you miss one line, you're kind of confused. Like that's why I say you can't really do anything else while watching this show. It's a great show when you have absolutely nothing to do for a day. It's great. But if you try to have this show on in the background while like vacuuming or working or trying to do something, it can't be done because you're gonna miss a whole lot. And the show has a lot to offer if you have the time to sit and read. And Devin said he watched it with the voice capture or the
subtitle dubs.
yeah, dub assist thing. And he was saying, like, I tried watching it with that, but I didn't know it was also going to tell you what was happening. Like, I guess it's for blind people.
Oh, audio description.
Yeah, audio description. And so, like, I was listening like they were talking, and all of a sudden it says, like, cut to, blah, 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 blah. He is drawing on a piece of paper, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, oh, okay, I don't like this. Yeah, he says, sometimes, this is what Devin says, sometimes I prefer to listen to watch. I do find that the option to do a dub is really funny because it reminds me of the old Kung Fu style movies dubs. I really appreciate that while the show is rather dark, it is visually pretty bright. I do feel like I don't quite understand why everybody is rallied against Tanaga. It's something I wish that they had said earlier in the episode.
Does he mean Toranaga?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Toranaga.
I believe so. He just wrote Tanaga.
Okay.
Yeah,
Probably because he's not watching the TV show.
But well, he mentioned it, and I try to recall what the reasoning was too. But I think they've like that's already been done. Like the show starts off with Toranaga, making his escape from this council that
Well,
already wants to kill him.
They
So we
they
don't-
talk about it a little bit, like the teacher lady to the heir. She's like, they're scared of your Minawara bloodline, and then also they tried to make up like you've had 8 marriages in the last year, so they're trying to make it look like he has been gaining power to take over himself, and also they imply that Yoshi is that no who's the main council leader guy?
Ishido Kazunara.
Ishido, yeah. They imply that Ishido is trying to gain the power because he's going to turn on the Christian lords next. So I think it's just because Ishido wants power, and so he's convincing his council members to turn against the other most powerful guy because he's a Minawata, and he's also this superb samurai general who killed a mountain of Taiwanese in Taiwan.
Yeah,
They
even
do
whenever
explain it a little.
Okay, so it's
You just have to piece it
Ishido-
together yourself.
yeah, like when the
Ishido making an enemy so that his plan can come to fruition instead of people looking at him as
he's the
people looking
yeah.
at Ishido as the enemy.
He's the wrong
Yeah.
one. I mean, even whenever the previous Shogun died, he offered the role of Shogun to him, and so he said no, unless you want me to die instantly. And so that's why they agreed to do this council. But yeah, it's a big power play. It's a very fun show.
Yeah, it's
to
cool
really
that way.
to really like dive into that, and I'm sure it's extremely historically accurate. So yeah.
The thing that they're using to tie back their hair buns wasn't invented till like the 1900s.
Ugh, this
What are
show
they using?
this show is trash.
I don't know what it's called, but Kata, the girl I've been seeing, she is into fashion modeling and like fabrics and stuff, and she's like,
cool.
well, that's actually not a historically accurate fabric because it was invented in the 1900s.
Oh, it's a certain
And I'm
sort of fabric. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're just
I'm
like,
like,
shut
cool.
up! I'm trying to watch the show.
I can't read
No,
what he's talking.
no. They boned afterwards. Turned them on so much.
He's like, I love
But
it.
she likes the show too, by the way.
Okay.
Not like anybody asked.
Yeah, yeah. So she's seeing anybody?
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
You gonna move to Wyoming?
I'm on my way.
Do I smell a throuple
One thing
coming
we
on?
haven't seen is a lot of actual fighting and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
there's not a lot of fight scenes. It's all just talk about it and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And
just
then-
like, oh, we're gonna get you in one
Yeah.
of these episodes. You're gonna get
and
what's
all
coming to you.
The main fighting sort of massacre happened with cannons from a
Yeah.
distance, blowing up Ashido's sort of head dog, to come out and see about Tornaga's.
Yeah.
They found him. Hey, we need you to come back, and you got to face trial. And then Tornaga's son's like, blow him up.
I haven't seen that, but it sounds awesome.
Yeah, there's
I was
very
about to contradict you because when Toranaga was escaping wherever he was being held prisoner,
The castle.
yeah, they had that fight between the bandits and the two samurai factions right there too.
yeah, there's combat, but it's very minimal. Like there's the assassin that tries to kill the what's
And
his
the
guy.
assassin.
Yeah, there's the
Yeah.
bandit thing that you were talking about that then the samurai come out and kill the bandits. There's combat, but it's not like in your face. And I don't think that's the point of the show.
Yeah.
The show is there for the story, not for like violence. Like
Yeah.
whenever that first head chop happens in episode 1, I kind of thought, I was like, "Oh, damn. This is going to
Hell yeah.
like this is going to happen." But what really like keeps you in the show is the story. And like it's really fun.
And yeah, I agree with you. I think it's doing good. And I think it's a good balance and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I feel like all this talking and stuff like that, they're really wanting to come after Toranaga. I think that's sort of like, building the climax, and then hopefully we'll have a cool sort of
Yeah.
war action scene, sort of. Because I think he does have some powers in his, back pocket,
Yeah, I'm interested to see. I need to keep watching and catch up. I just need to have time to do it. But it's a really fun watch, and I think we should go on ahead and get into final thoughts then. Tim, what are your final thoughts and capes?
So far, Capes, I would give it a solid 7 out of 10.
Okay.
The first episode, I will say, was probably. I liked the first episode, but it was my least favorite out of all 4 that I've seen so far.
It got better.
I do think that it's getting better and better and better with
Yeah.
each episode.
Yeah.
Like I said, John Blackthorne was just the thorn of the first episode. I was like, okay, can we stop focusing on this guy? I want to see what's going on with Toranaga.
Yeah.
And also the boiling pot scene in the first episode, I almost like stopped watching. I was like, nope, that's
Not here for
painful.
that.
Yeah, that's not
It made my
why.
nuts shrivel up into my body.
Yeah, that's not why I came
Oh,
here.
the fact that it's like, oh yeah, who's a hard one to kill?
What's something that could bump it up for you, Tim?
I think a good soundtrack always plays a good, like, that's what takes it from a good show to a great show. Like,
Yeah.
if they had authentic or traditional Japanese music that undercut the meaning of the different scenes, I think that would just be like, I'd be like, oh, all right, I'm feeling sad.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
the scene is sad, and now the music got me feeling sad. Yes.
Like
Yeah,
like
that's a
in
good-
Game of
that's a good
Thrones.
connector to the scene.
Yeah, like in
you're
Game of
right.
Thrones, whenever the red wedding music kicks in, you know something is wrong.
Yes.
So like the music has
Just hearing
to.
you say the red wedding music, I got goosebumps.
Yeah, it's like
And that's what I think would improve this show.
yeah,
Yeah.
music's very important. Flippo, what about you? Final thoughts, Capes?
I've only seen the first episode.
Okay.
And we went to the rest of it.
Yeah.
I don't
A
know.
little bit. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Surprise.
No, I'm not worried about it. I will try to continue it. So right now I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
Just because of the first episode
I gotcha.
is kind of it's talky.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a
It's
lot
a
of
drama,
talk. Yeah.
right? It's considered a drama, right?
Yes, it's world building in the first episode. You kind of have to. You're learning about the clans. You're learning about characters. So yes, it is the first episode is an exposition dump. But
Yeah,
as Tim
in-
said, it gets better. Like as you keep watching.
Yeah, in IMDb, it's under adventure, drama, and history subjects.
All right. What about
So
you?
I looked up the book really fast, and the book is supposed to follow historical events as well.
Okay.
Cool.
Reed, final thoughts, Capes.
Yeah, I'll give it I'll give it an 8.5 right now.
Okay.
It's good. It's visually really good. Yeah, the politics and stuff like that is interesting, and they're doing a good job at it. Game of Thrones kind of lost that a little bit in the middle of it, but right now, yeah, it's going really good. Yeah, I'm sad to hear that it's only going to get one season, but if it's a really good one season, then I think that they did a really good job with it.
Yeah, and
Better
I think
end it early and make us want more than end it
Yeah,
late and make
yeah.
us regret the last couple seasons.
I agree.
And maybe
yeah.
maybe they might do like a period before all this started happening, kind of
Oh,
what are
yeah.
the events that led up to this, maybe if they don't want to follow a book, or if the author is writing something else. Yeah, I think they're doing really good. Do we know how many episodes are planned for this?
We're on episode 8 right now. I imagine this may be a 10-episode run. If
Okay,
I were to
I'm
guess.
looking at IMDb, and it says the actress for Mariko is in 10 episodes.
Yeah, I imagine it's going to be a 10-episode run.
So
Might be it.
Shogun was written by James Clavell back in 1975, and he died in 1920 or 1994.
Oh,
Okay.
this is an old book then. For some
Yeah.
reason, I thought this book was new. Well, Devin gave the show a 9 out of 10. He really enjoyed the story. He just found it hard to focus due to the subtitles. And
I got a question.
yeah,
What's y'all's thoughts on the influx of Eastern culture into pop culture nowadays?
I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I would love
Like
to.
just out of nowhere, like we're getting all this.
I don't think it was out of nowhere. I think since people are being quote unquote woke nowadays, everyone's saying there's too many white people in our representation, right? And
Yeah.
so they need to look outside of white stories to tell us, and even the stories that were from, the Eastern Hemisphere,
we
we weren't doing them with the historically accurate
Yeah.
races. We were putting white people in them.
Yeah, like The
So-
Last Samurai had Tom Cruise in it.
Yeah.
And Asian culture is so much more than Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah.
Like it's good to actually get like some kind of historical accurate telling of Eastern culture. And I
it's
mean,
new, it's new to us, since
Yeah.
this is just now sort of a sort of educational wave.
Yeah.
And
it's an
of-
awakening. So I guess
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can say yeah.
and the sort of Eastern, their entertainment too. We're getting a taste of that, and it's
Yeah.
new to us, and
Mhm.
we're finding new things.
I also think once we have like 4 or 5 maybe 10 years of this influx of Asian culture in our media, we're probably going to move on to Africa or African culture, because eventually we're going to get bored of the same stories over and over, and they're going to look for new stories which are in other cultures.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because I mean,
Just like, how many video games do we have now that are?
there's Ghost of Tsushima, there's Rise of
Japanese
Ronin.
related.
I'm sure
Sekiro died twice.
All
right?
of the Naruto games.
there's. I think
Dragon Ball Z.
I think
Yeah,
I think Demon Hunter just came out with the game.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's fair. I mean, because everybody deserves proper representation. And as far as like my thoughts and capes, kind of goes into what Flippo said. Every time I see a show or a video game set in Japan, it makes me want to visit. Like I think Japan is beautiful. I was like, oh, that would be such a cool place to go. The show for me, it's very strong. The hour or over an hour long episodes that really doesn't help me. So I'm gonna give this show, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. It's a very well written show, so I'm there for it. Well, let's go on ahead and end this episode there.
Awesome. Thank you guys for joining us today with the Caped Complainers.
Don't forget to like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
You can find us
Make sure to follow us on Twitch, where we're streaming games sometimes, and we're also streaming the podcast every Sunday, unless Tim's not here. If he's not here, apparently nobody else knows how to do it.
Because you're our tech machine.
Yeah,
Tim the tech.
you're a main guy. And also, speaking of main guys, you could listen to your main guys just about anywhere where podcasts are heard. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, all of the places. And don't forget that nobody complains like a fan. We'll see y'all next time.